Welcome to Stop Dieting and Start Living podcast. I am your coach, Natalia Rodriguez, and I will be guiding you to get in the best shape of your life for the rest of your life by combining my coaching experience with the psychology behind the human eating behaviors and some simple brain science. Get ready to be coached by me. Hi guys, I hope you are having great and thank you for joining me here today. In this episode, I want you to think a little bit about hunger. I know you're busy, so who has time to feel hungry, right? Well, this may surprise you or not. Hunger is like wanting to go to pee. It's just another biological reaction of our body. It's another way that our body has to communicate with us. So why we are constantly avoiding it? Why not instead learn to listen to it and just act when it pops up? This is the way you can stop dieting for the rest of your life. Because then you will eat when your body needs it, not when you think you need it. Those are two different things, and then is when you start struggling with your weight. Really, don't you think it's more simple to eat when hungry? Instead of constantly being thinking about food all day, at what time you should be eating, prepping your meals, bringing Tupperwares with food all the time? Honestly, I never thought about it this way before, but prepping meals only serves you when you honestly are super in tune with your body, when you are fully aware and give yourself unconditionally permission to eat what you really want to eat. And you are fully aware and wait without any worries until your body tells you you need food. There is when you have a real healthy relationship with food. Otherwise, it becomes another diet. So if you are like me and you have been dieting for years, restricting yourself from foods that you really want to eat, chances are you have lost completely your hunger cues. And if you also tend to overeat certain foods sometimes and feel guilty afterwards, and you're still having cheat days or cheat meals, you need to step back a little bit to reconnect with your real hunger. Today, I want to talk about the truth about feeling hunger, why we should not fear it, and how you can get comfortable with it. This is a great tool for losing weight without counting calories or being obsessed about carbs, fats, fasting, etc. This was a topic that I never considered relevant. But since I started healing my relationship with food by listening to my mentor, Leslie Hooper, she mentioned it, why we fear so much hunger. And I thought, me? Fearing hunger? No way. But yes, she was totally right. Have you ever thought about it? Like if you have a meeting, you may eat before to avoid being hungry. Or you carry with you snacks all day and you have all your meals super planned. You fear to get hungry because you may get grumpy or mad if you don't eat perhaps. Which, by the way, if you do get emotional as me when hungry, that is something you can work on. It is definitely not cool to be grumpy or mad at others. That is not normal. That is just a habit we develop, and it is really something you can work on. Because it should not be that we get mad at others because we are hungry. That's called being an asshole instead. So I used to be one of those and still feel hunger triggers me. But I'm working on that, and avoiding hunger is not the way. We need to work on our emotions. Why we feel this way when we are hungry. And now, actually, after a few weeks practicing it, I do enjoy feeling hunger now because it is actually a good thing if you want to connect more with your body and get back to your natural body's shape. So this is a good signal that you feel hunger. But just be careful because there is a limit for feeling hunger, and that you have also to know. Don't go to the other extreme of passing days without eating. That works in your brain similar to when you restrict foods that you really want to eat. It will cause you a rebound. And that is not okay. Actually, recently, I heard a story about a guy that when he wants to lose weight, he stopped eating for an entire week. Really, just water. Come on, that's nonsense. Or a friend that is going to get married in a week and she's doing this syrup diet. So she doesn't eat anything, just syrup. I mean, I tried to explain her and she also tried to explain me. But honestly, I deeply wanted to punch her in the face. Of course, I didn't say anything. But you know what? I don't blame her. This is what we have been told. And as much as I try to take her out of that thinking, I couldn't. And you know why? Because she thinks she needs to fit in the wedding dress. That is so important for her. So she says to me, Natalia, I never diet, only did it this time because I am going to get married next week. And I promise you, after I won't do it anymore. That is the mindset I want you to rewire from your brain. Don't wait until summer or the holidays or until you get to feel so uncomfortable with yourself that you are out of desperation to do stupid things like that. You can from today start slowly getting in the best shape of your life for the rest of your life without diets and healing your relationship with food and with yourself, because the way you eat is a reflection of who you are. Well, and coming back to the topic of feeling hunger, extreme hunger is not advisable. As everything in life, there are some guidelines that you can follow to not overdo it. We will talk about that later. Why do people struggle with hunger? I guess you know why. I wanted just to remind you. Where does it come from? If we are born with it, why we panic feeling a bit hunger? Yes, I guess you don't remember when you were a baby, but probably when you were younger, your mom had to call you several times to come down to the table to eat. Or if you have a child at home, making them to eat when they are not hungry, it's a nightmare. Or making them to eat all the food in their plates seems a battle. Well, there is a reason for that. And please, if you're a parent, please stop making them to eat, I beg you. That may cause them issues in the future. And most probably, your parents did that with you. And that is why you're here now. Not to blame them, all right? Accept that they didn't know better. But no, you can do better. And listen, kids are experiencing the world and learning, and so do we. So of course, if they try ice cream, they would like to have some on every meal. That's normal. So find ways to introduce them all kind of foods without telling them what's good or bad. They follow their body cues. They are designed for that. We are designed for that. We are born with it. So trust them and guide them without punishing them. Okay, so coming back to the topic of hunger. Our bodies communicate with hunger as when we are tired, cold, when we need to go to the toilet, and why we don't avoid those or why we don't get grumpy about them. So why hunger gets all the hate? Hunger is not the enemy. Like a car, it is just like a signal for the low gas and let us know when it is time to fill it up. We don't stop at every gas station all the time when it goes a little bit low, do you? It is a psychological thing. We are not super uncomfortable with other physical cues, and it comes all down to only hunger that it gets all the hate. Why? Well, we have the fitness and the food industry. They want us to eat constantly, so they get more income, making us to buy their products, sell their foods, make you to snack more often, and eating when you don't actually need it. So we disconnect ourselves from those body signals, and when they rise up, we freak out. Nobody taught us how to handle that. Why it is so uncomfortable to sit with hunger? We don't want to deal with uncomfortable things. We were told to be strong and that we are not weak, so we avoid those things, right? Those kind of feelings, like to feel sad or tired. So less experiences we have with it, we will tend to block them as soon as it appears. And also, we as humans created social norms. Food is an experience, so we link our emotions with it. Like grandma wanted to show us some love, overfeeding us, or special occasions like birthdays and Christmas. And since we can eat with or without hunger, how you can know the difference between the physical need from false hunger? So let's talk about this. So usually, you are not hungry when you only crave a specific food. False hunger usually make you eat only comfort foods. It can come after you felt an emotion probably. It is also irrational and inconsistent. And it can go with a glass of water. While true hunger, you could eat anything. Feels like a hole in your stomach. It builds up and don't go so easy. So how to determine physical versus craving? Check on my Instagram. There is a great infographic in there. You can also ask yourself, will I eat an apple or a chocolate right now? And it is not about the flavor, more about to eliminate the discomfort you feel around it. So what are the benefits of feeling hunger? Okay, let's talk about this. This is important. First, you will know your body is functioning well. and you won't ever feel bad about eating anything. Also, if you want to lose weight, you will know when you're in a calorie deficit. This is super cool. Also, bear in mind that hunger can be affected depending on your activity level. The menstrual cycle of a woman, our hormones can affect our hunger. Usually, some kind of activity after can influence your hunger. Sometimes I do some strength training, for example, and I am not hungry at all afterwards. But when I used to do cardio, after I could eat the whole world. Funny, some people experience this, and when they are told to do cardio for losing weight, they end up eating more. And the irony is that excessive cardio contributes to increased cravings. That is why it's not a good idea, so not the best tool for weight loss. And as an advantage for waiting for your hunger signal is that it can prevent us from overeating, being constantly snacking and thinking about food all the time. So if you're constantly overeating, you don't get the opportunity to learn about your body, to know that certain food influences your energy and your hunger. So dieting conditions people to eat 5-6 meals on a day, 3 meals, 2 snacks. When I was calorie counting, aiming for 1,500 calories in the day, if I had that day a busy day and I couldn't eat the food I was planning, at the end of the day, that didn't prevent me to eat a lot of calories, even if I wasn't hungry. I was just eating what my diet told me to do, what I should do. And I built the habit of overeating at night from that, because I was eating when I was not hungry. And that is why for me somehow now it's hard for me to erase that habit. Pretty dumb, eh? If I'm not hungry, my body don't need that food. And honestly, many times I thought about it. But then you start second guessing because someone told you that is the way for fat loss. Listening to your hunger is a basic of your needs. And relying on external things that your physical cues is not a good idea. How they will know? It is like heart rate monitors. You already know how far you can go, so why you need one? Those are advisable for athletes or people with special conditions, same as counting calories or eating protein after your workout. Those are guidelines, serve for special people, not for regular persons. I had a friend that is a mom. We used to go to CrossFit together, and she was always carrying around with her a protein shake bottle. And I was so curious, I asked her, why you do that? Are you so hungry that you cannot wait until you get home? And she said, no, but it is convenient because I need to build the muscle, right? And then she was talking about the diet she was doing and how she wanted to lose weight. And then I was holding myself not to say anything, eh? But don't you find this confusing? What she was pushing herself to it when she's not hungry. So it's insane. There is so much information out there that we get confused. And some advices can help some type of population, but we need to know what we need and what is our goal in order to know what works for us. So as I said before, I cannot help who doesn't want to listen. I hope one day she realizes that she doesn't need to follow those guidelines. If she's a hardworking mom that only wants and her goal is to have her shape back, stay healthy, and have sufficient energy to take care of her family, she doesn't need to follow those kind of guidelines. So listen to hunger, and your fullness instead will be the best advice for people like her or like me. Dieting, calorie counting are things you cannot do forever. So instead, start learning how to trust yourself, feel comfortable with your hunger and your physical cues. And a way to start, if you want to try it, is to sit with the hunger slowly, like for 10 minutes at the beginning to start with, instead of sitting with it 12 hours like intermittent fasting make you to do it. If people eat following their hunger cues, they won't be overeating. If you eat like an asshole, then chances are you don't get hunger for 8-9 hours. So you will want to eat before that, even if you are not truly hungry. So hunger won't mislead you unless you have a medical condition, which, by the way, this podcast is not for them. If you have a special condition, you should be not listening to this podcast. I better advise you to go to your doctor, okay? But so more importantly, were to say that if people is eating when not hungry, it is probably for an emotional need, for a habit, or a psychological reason. That can be triggered by the environment too. Some donuts at work. Hey, free food has no calories, right? Certain people also can influence you to overeat. Food pushers, people that encourage you to eat, clean your plate. social pleasure, and better to indulge with them to take them out of the way. Learning to deal with these scenarios is important. I will talk about this in another podcast. It's a very interesting topic. Because at the end, you are the only one giving yourself a problem, putting others first, and then you gain extra weight that makes you feel bad about yourself. So develop a strong relationship with your hunger. It will give you confidence to be intentional about your eating behavior. Waiting until you are truly hungry won't feel weird, and then eat whatever your grandma cooked for you because it feels right. Remember, it is not that you can eat it, just delay it. Maybe later, next time you're hungry. That is the beauty of this. You as a human are going to be hungry again. So that's why intermittent fasting is a problem. It makes you overeat in the eating window. So it makes you crave lots of food. You will feel heavy, and that is not the goal. You go from starving to stuff. You want to hang out in the gray, You will have more results there. Most of these people that I work with, they are dieting for years. They are professional dieters. They have tried everything. And they build a life around perfectionism and the all or none mentality, with eating clean or good during the week, but on the weekends eating like assholes, where results come and go. Dieting during the week and falling off on the weekends is their new normal. But you know what? Results come when you are consistent, when you are flexible and learn to live in the gray area where you can be more consistent. So no matter if it's Sunday, Tuesday, holidays, January, you will always eat the same, but not the same foods in the same way, honoring your hunger. So you have to learn to manage your hunger. Learn to navigate with it. It is not going away, so use it for your benefit. Hunger is neutral. Seeing it as a friend. Embrace your hunger. Be objective. Be clinical. Think it like, this is just the way that my body has to communicate with me. I am getting low energy and I just need to do something about it soon. We don't need to attach hunger with emotions. We don't need to be hungry. We need to agree on this. You have the ability to control your emotions, how to respond. If you lose your shit when you're hungry, if you react to food, food is controlling you. You are an adult. Act like it. Going around abusing people just because you have a little hunger? Come on. So hunger is normal and it is okay to experience it. How we can practice this? So here is some strategies. Sit with your hunger 15 to 60 minutes before your meal. Hey, don't go over 60 minutes. Chances are you will stress out and you may overeat or see it like a game of how hungry you can be. This is not a good idea. Remember, hang out in the gray area, avoid the all or none mentality. Many of my clients, I used to be one of these, I hear this a lot, is I don't wake up hungry in the mornings, or I normally eat until midday, I don't feel hungry. But these only come down to three things. The first one, you eat like assholes at night. The second one, eating very late. It's not just about overeating. It's eating very late into the night that will affect waking up hungry on the following day. And the third, coffee drinker. So someone that has coffee first thing in the morning, just you have to know that it's an appetizer suppressor. So it is important, people, to realize that to start practicing hunger, you need to be aware that you may not feel hunger first thing in the morning, but still be diligent and intentional about eating at the same time every day. So your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, have the opportunity to send the signals to your body. If you're someone that skips breakfast, you may not feel hunger, so be intentional. You can sustain yourself for at least 5 hours, not having to worry about food. Like, I feel hungry usually every 4 or 5 hours, very frequently. I will be hungry perhaps at the 4 hours, and then I eat in the 5 hours mark. You need to explore your hunger and eat meals that satisfy you properly, and learn which meals keeps you full and for how long. That needs a lot of trial and error. And then sit when you feel hunger. Hang with it for a little bit. Don't act on it. For some people, this is very uncomfortable, so start with a little bit, like 5 minutes on breakfast, and that's it. Then next week, you start with 10 minutes, and then you start slowly hanging out around 30 minutes to 60 minutes maximum. Explore your hunger, especially if you are not used to it. What are the pitfalls here? Why you don't want to go over 60 minutes? You don't want to create a dysfunctional relationship with food. So overdoing it makes chances rise up. If you skip your meals during the day, you have experienced this before. You will end up overeating thousands of the calories in one sitting. Blackout, wake up with Dorito dust and chocolate all over your face. It happened to me many times without intention. I was so busy that I didn't have time for lunch. I forgot. But then at night, I was overdoing it. And this became a ritual. So sit down at the table, make an intention to eat every 5-6 hours. Assess your fullness cues, and eating foods that you really like and taste good for you are important. So if you feel full or is not that tasty, toss it. No one is going to write you a ticket for throwing up some food or finish it as well. Nobody's going to compliment you for eating everything. That is the nuts and bolts why I encourage my clients to wait 30 to 60 minutes. Again, start small. Wait until you get to the 60 minutes mark. As you get comfortable in this practice, it becomes a non-issue. Clients tend to report that they like it and it feels good, and it is an indication that you are doing right. It is like muscle soreness. You start to enjoy it, appreciate it, and respect it. It is a good indication that you are in the good path. So guys, that's all for today about hunger. It is a big topic. So if you have any questions, if you find any struggles, if you have any comments, please don't hesitate to write me on Instagram or to my email that is on the episode notes. Have a wonderful day. I believe in you. Thank you for listening, and I hope you liked this episode. And if you did, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That will support my cause, that is to impact as many of you to stop dieting and start living. For more information, you can find the link in the episode notes. I am also very active on Instagram, where you will find tons of information. Have a great one. Lots of love. Your coach, Na.